What do Falcons do? Rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, the show where we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general, the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, the Golden Hard Doc, and a lifelong sports fan. And today, coming to you with a quick preview of the Atlanta Falcons at Jacksonville Jaguars at Wembley Stadium in London. Initially thought I was going to be streaming this. I think I'm not going to be able to. Probably going to actually miss most of the game as I do have something going on that morning. But I will be keeping up with the score and kind of trying to go back and watch highlights, hopefully be able to catch maybe the end of the game. But going into this one, we have a little bit of a narrative. We have the fact that both of these teams have underperformed in the last week. I would argue the Jacksonville Jaguars have underperformed 2 weeks in a row compared to what we thought they were going to be in the beginning of the year. They have a better passing game. We have a better running game. And then you also have Calvin Ridley potentially getting a revenge game here after he and the Falcons parted ways basically a couple of years ago. I know it's been not quite that long, but he hasn't played for us since, oh gosh, what was it, 2021? 2021? I'm not even sure anymore. It's been so long. But either way, he was suspended for a year. He basically quit on the team in the middle of the season the year prior. And again, it could be a revenge game, maybe not. What I would say is this. We have a very good defense overall. They're at least middle of the road, maybe a little bit better. What they are not doing, and one of the keys to this game is going to be, can that front four finally figure out the pass rush? Now, Calais Campbell, you could argue, is also getting a revenge game after he spent a significant amount of time of his career, including some all-pro seasons, with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the revenge game narrative, I think, gets washed out in that regard. And I do think that Campbell is going to be a difference maker here. I think he knows that team very well. I think he knows some of the guys there, and I think he's going to be able to be the difference maker in this one. Now, he's getting up there in years, and it's starting to show. And again, I think we're going to have some really solid presence by those four on the line. And I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. I certainly hope we can, but that's going to be the key. We can't go into this game and not get at least 2 or 3 sacks on Trevor Lawrence and expect to win this game. I think it's certainly possible. Trevor Lawrence has not looked amazing. He has not looked like the savior of Jacksonville that they thought he was last year. He's only 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Desmond Ridder, though, also has not looked phenomenal in the last couple of games. He did have a great fourth quarter in both of the last 2 games, both the first and second game of the year. The last game, he just couldn't put it together at all. Now, I wonder, is that because the offensive line broke down and allowed 7 sacks on him? He had very little time to throw, and that right side collapsed very rapidly most of the time. So we've got to do better. The problem there is McGarry. We knew he was a run blocker. We knew that he did not have the ability to pass pro because he didn't demonstrate that even in his contract year and has not demonstrated it so far. So I don't know that I completely question the re-signing. I think it made sense. But I do wish we had gone for somebody as bad as he has been for the Kansas City Chiefs in terms of false starts. I think, Schaefer was a guy that we could have gotten. Or I can't remember who the Denver Broncos got, but they got another tackle who was very good as well. And again, I think we could have gotten a better tackle in the offseason this past year. We would have had to pay them a little bit more. Now, the other interesting thing that the Falcons have done, obviously we're not going to do anything with it right now, but they have moved to make some cap space by restructuring the deal with left tackle Jake Matthews. We have freed up $7.1 million of cap space. I don't know how much that actually gives us. I think it's in the neighborhood of $20 million in free cap space. We did lose Troy Anderson to season-ending injury on that shoulder, so hopefully he's back next year. Nate Landman's going to step up in that role. But, I don't know what we're going to do with this money. I don't know if we're going to be looking to get one of these offensive linemen who hasn't been signed yet. I don't know if we're going to be looking to get maybe a defensive player, maybe an edge rusher, maybe trade for one. A lot of people are talking about a Vikings trade. The Vikings looking to maybe get off of their losing streak. So the Vikings looking to maybe move Kirk Cousins. And I think they've got an edge rusher. Danielle Hunter, I think they're looking to move him as well. And again, kind of makes sense for either one of those if Desmond Ridder doesn't really show up this week. Kirk Cousins having a very good year, but obviously if they're not going to be good in Minnesota and they're not going to go to the Super Bowl, they want to move on from him as this is his last year on this contract. So I think there's a lot of things that could happen with this money that we've just freed up. Obviously, you don't do it to just have the money. You do it to make a move. And that's what I think we're obviously going to do, is we're looking to make some sort of splash here after this week or in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Again, Jacksonville Jaguars, their keys to victory from their end is going to be putting pressure on Desmond Ridder, forcing us into pass situations. And again, I've said this for the last few weeks, basically since the start of the season, we need to run the ball. There is not a scenario where we need to open a game with 3 straight pass plays. There's not a scenario where on a goal line we need to have 2 out of the 3 plays be a pass. There's not a scenario coming out of a half we need to have 4 straight pass plays with 1 penalty where we end up having, basically 4 incompletions and a 3 and out functionally with lost yardage. There's no need for that with the way this offense is built. It is built to run the ball. We have Tyler Algier as the hammer. We have Bijan Robinson as the finesse and the elusive back. And now, hopefully, I don't know the final here. Actually, I'm going to look it up while I'm making this video about the Falcons injury report, because my understanding is that for the past 2 weeks, Cordell Patterson's supposed to have been back, and he has not been, and that's certainly been hurting us. Cordell Patterson, he had limited practices the last 2 days. We'll see what happens. Today is Friday. They haven't done that yet. We'll see what happens. He should play, though. Josh Ali is the other guy on our that's still listed as not practicing. He had an ankle injury. He did not practice. He sustained that on Wednesday. He's not really a factor, though. Going to the Jacksonville Jaguars real quick, let's just take a quick look at them. Zay Jones could be out for them. He had a knee injury, and he has not practiced the last 2 days. That is not looking good for him to suit up. And then everybody else is basically having limited practices except for Devin Lloyd, who also hasn't practiced. I expect all of the guys who are having limited practices to come back into the game and to actually start in London. But Devin Lloyd and Zay Jones, I would say, are not. So that does help us a little bit, but they still have 2 great weapons in Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley. Again, we have Jesse Bates now. Jesse Bates had another interception last week, which we couldn't capitalize on. You can go back and watch one of my shorts where I got super excited thinking we were about to have another 4th quarter comeback, because that happened going into the 4th, and we did absolutely nothing with it. So it's tough to say. I certainly understand why people don't think that the Falcons are going to win this game. I think it definitely favors the Jaguars that they are basically a pseudo-home team in London. But you have a lot of international NFL fans who are Falcons, who are Green Bay, who are all sorts of other things. Speaking of, Green Bay got absolutely smashed yesterday, so I will link my video. I think I did it at the beginning of this video for my picks for this week, but I was absolutely wrong on that one. Hopefully I'm not wrong on the Falcons as well and don't start 0-2 on the week, but I did pick our Dirty Birds here. That's all I got for you today, guys. Thank you for watching this. If you don't mind, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me reach more people, helps this channel grow. Thank you so much to the 179 of you guys who have decided to follow me and subscribe to my channel. I don't know why you listen to this goober, but you do, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much to all of you who continue to watch my videos and push it out to other people. That means a lot to me as well. And that's all I got for you guys, but as always, rise up.